Hello, everybody. My name's Georgiana, and this is Miss Meredith, and we are here with Creativity for Kids, and we are going to be unboxing our Build and Grow treehouse with a little twist. So, Miss Meredith, go ahead and take it away.
Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're here crafting with me. And like Georgiana said, we're doing our Build and Grow treehouse, but with a little twist. And as you can see, I've got my pumpkin earrings on. I've got my Halloween t-shirt, some decor behind me. We are making our treehouse spooky. So what I have in front of me here is an example of our spooky treehouse. So you can see how I've used some easy things that I found around the house to make it a little bit more spooky. And we can talk about that after we create our very own treehouse. So let's go ahead and look what we have inside the box. We'll move our little treehouse out of the way here. There we go. Okay. So, as you know, you can get this kit at Michael's. If you do not have the kit, that's okay. You can follow along, and then you can create your own treehouse with whatever you might have on hand. Or if you follow along and you see that, oh my gosh, I'd love to make this treehouse, you can go to Michael's and pick one up. All right, so we have our handy dandy instructions. We have our watercolor paint palette. All these really fun 3D stickers. Some chia seeds. Some more decorations for our treehouse. All of the items that we'll need. Let's open this up here. So here we have our glue. These are little grow mats and little growing trays, which we'll need for the chia seeds. We have our paintbrush that goes with our watercolors, a little plastic pipette for watering. This strip here, don't throw it away. It actually has little sticky dots on it, so that'll be handy for decorating. Our sponge, a little bit of sandpaper because we are using wood. All of our treehouse pieces. The greenery for our treehouse. And our adorable little friends back here. We have our owl. Hello. Hedgehog. Hamster. Turtle. And our frog. Ribbit. Okay, cool. We'll set those aside too. So let's get started. You will need some water for washing out your paintbrush, as well as for watering your chia seeds, and some paper towels for drying your brush. Okay, so important information about the paint. Cover your work surface and wear a smock or old clothes, and that's to protect yourself from if you have any paint going places that you don't want it to. Clean up any spills immediately and wash clothing within an hour to help prevent stains. We already said having a cup of water and paper towels handy. Rinsing your paintbrush and sponge with water before you change colors and after you're all done using them. Okay, so the first thing it says on the instructions here is to prep our grow trays and our chia seeds. But actually, I'm going to skip, since we only have a limited time today during class, I'm going to skip over to
painting. So we're going to paint. And while the paint dries, then we're going to do our planting of our chia seeds. So if you are all following along, go ahead to the inside of the instructions where it says let's paint. So we're going to start by painting the base, then both sides of the tree pieces. So let's find those pieces. So the base, let's see, I can focus it here. The base is the big round piece. And you're going to see printed on the base where the front is and where the back is. So let's get that out. Now, here's our base. So right up here, it says back, and right up here, it says front. So that will be important when it's time to put our treehouse together. All right, so in the instructions, you can see that we have painted our base green. Now you don't have to, but if you would like, you know, something that looks like green grass, you can paint it all green as well. And for large areas, we recommend using the sponge because that covers a lot of the area very quickly. So I have my water here, I have my sponge here. And you just dip your sponge into the water, gather some paint, and you just kind of swipe it over the base. And like I mentioned, you don't have to do green grass since this is a spooky treehouse kit. Maybe it's more so like fall time and the grass might be getting a little darker. So maybe you want to include like, I don't know, darker colors in there. So the colors that you have in your watercolors, you have two different types of browns. You have a yellow, a red, a blue, a black, and a white. Actually, is that black or is that purple? We'll have to see. Okay, so that took no time at all. So we're going to set that aside and let it dry. All right, there you go. Time to dry. And since we might not use green again on our sponge, I'm just going to dip it into the water and squeeze out the water so the color comes out. Okay, so the next thing we want to paint are the tree pieces. And these pieces are the base of the tree itself. So they're the largest pieces that look like a tree trunk and tree branches. So let's find those. Perfect. All right, so we have 1, 2, and 3 tree branch pieces, and then 2 larger pieces that will fit together to form the base of the tree house. Now, I've already gone ahead and started painting these, so you want to paint both sides. So I already did a brown trunk and some green leaves on one side of each of these pieces. And I did that only to save a little bit of time. Now again, since this is a spooky treehouse, maybe the colors of the leaves have changed And instead of green leaves, maybe they're orange and yellow and red. So it's up to you as to how you want to paint them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the brown again and finish painting the other side of these tree pieces. And as I mentioned, there are 2 different colors of brown in our color palette here. So this one over here is a darker brown, and this one over here is more of a medium brown. And what I used here on this side, I believe, is the darker brown. So you can see once it gets absorbed into the wood, it's actually not that dark. So just like before, all you have to do is dip your sponge in, gather some paint like that, and just smear it over your wood. And the wood absorbs the paint. Like I mentioned, this is watercolor paint, so it absorbs the paint pretty quickly. There we go. Okay, we got that one done. I'll come back to that one and put the leaves on, but I'm going to do all of my brown at once, so I don't really have to rinse and dry off my sponge when I change colors. Now you are given a brush, so if you're not into using the sponge to paint with, you can use your paintbrush and paint. It just might take a little bit longer for you doing that. But it is really handy to have our paintbrush in this kit, because after this base layer of paint dries, you can always go back in and add cool details like knots in the wood or blades of grass or anything else that you can think of for a little bit more detail. There we go. Perfect. And we'll rinse our sponge. And I think I will get a little bit fun, and instead of doing all the leaves green, I'm gonna make some of them fall colored. So let's get a little orange. There we go. That's kind of light. So once the wood absorbs the paint, it will look lighter. So you can always go over anywhere that you'd like it to be darker with a second coat. There we go. And while the wood and the paint is still wet, you can always grab some, like another color, and kind of blend it if you want. So I just painted this little area here orange. Well, now I'm taking the red and introducing some red to it. So it's kind of creating like this cool faded effect. Let's see if you can see that. Like that. So it's just up to you however much time and color you want to put into your leaves. But I am really loving the orange red kind of fall effect here. Maybe I will do a couple green that look like they're turning into fall leaves, but really aren't fall yet. So grab some of that green. There we go. And this is really, you don't have to have a lot of skill for this. All you have to do is kind of experiment with what you're curious about, how the paint will look. So it's fun and really easy to do. I have one more over here to do. There we go. And this one here, I'll do red. All right. Okay, so all of this will have to dry as well. But since I did do the other side of all of these pieces before this class, I can show you how to use your paintbrush and add some detail. So this guy is already dry. And here's our paintbrush. So you'll notice it's a medium type of a paintbrush. It's not a fine tip. It's more of a broad tip. But if you hold your paintbrush sideways, it does become more of a fine tip. So I'm going to be using the side of my paintbrush to try and create a couple knots in the tree. And knots look kind of like a swirl. So like that. And if you go outside and take a look at some trees that might be growing around your area, you can try and replicate what the bark of the trees around you look like. And knots in trees are pretty fun because sometimes you'll see like an animal that has like maybe created a little home inside of the tree. And so, you know, like in the storybooks where there's like a little owl poking its little head out, maybe it's like a squirrel. So knots in trees are fun. Yeah. Yay. So easy as that. So now you have some more interest to your treehouse. And I'll quickly put a little bit of detail over on this guy too. And again, you can get as detailed as you want. I'm just giving you some ideas as to what you can do. Ooh. So with watercolors, the more water you introduce to the palette, to the paint, the lighter the color will be. So if you don't use a lot of water, the color will actually be darker when you paint with it. And watercolors are really fun. You can try out more water and less water and a bunch of other techniques with watercolor. So I'm loving that we included this in the kit. Okay, so here we go. We've got our treehouse base. We've got our little tree branches. Let's look at our instructions and see what we're going to do next. Oh, it says time to build. All right. I think now I'm going to skip back and let these dry a little bit more. It doesn't take that long to dry, but I'm going to let them dry. So I'm going to put them to the side. And now I'm going to show you the chia. And I just love that we were able to include some actual little seeds that you can grow for your treehouse. So let's find our little grow trays and our mats. Here we go. And where did our chia go? Here it is. We'll need our pipette, maybe a pair of scissors. Okay, I think we're prepared. So it says, use your dropper to add water to the trays. Fill each one about halfway up. All right, so I have some clean water here because I just use this water for painting. So here is our trays. And the way you use this pipette is you squeeze this part of it here, the bulb part, you squeeze it, put the tip in the water, and it will suck up the water. So now that I have water in my pipette, I'm just going to squeeze it into the tray. And it says that we want to fill it up about halfway. And why we're doing that is because our little grow mats, they need to get nice and wet in order for our chia seeds to feel comfortable enough to grow. So chia seeds like a nice wet, but not too wet environment in order for them to, like I said, get comfortable and grow. Okay, so I'm not there yet. I think I need a couple more squirts in each one. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Folding the corners under. So for our little grow mats, we're going to fold the corners under. Kind of like that. And if you do have scissors and instead of folding the corners under, you could actually just kind of cut off the corners. And why we're doing this in the first place is so they fit inside the little trays. So we're going to put with the corners underneath, put that side down. And fit inside just like that. There we go. And I may have spilled a little, so I'll just clean that up. There we go. And these little mats are pretty cool. It's instead of using soil, we're using these little grow mats. So it's a little less messy. And you can actually, once your chia is done growing and kind of died off, you can actually flip them over and use them again. Or at least I've done that. I don't know if we include that in the instructions, but I have done it and it works. Okay. Ding. There we go. All right. Once your grow mats have absorbed the water, sprinkle a few seeds around each mat. Save the rest to replant later. Set the trays aside until your treehouse is ready. Okay, so it will take a little bit of time for these grow mats to absorb the water. So I've gone ahead and, like I did with the other pieces of our treehouse, I kind of prepared for our class and I planted some chia seeds. So this is what it looks like. You can kind of see it's a little bit dark, but the chia seeds are on top of the, there we go. The chia seeds are on top of the grow mat and it's a little bit wet. And then what happens next, the chia seeds will start to grow. Hey, so you can see they're just like popping out a little bit. I wonder, should we try the front facing camera? See if we'll pick it up here. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but there we go. So we've got some green in there. And then finally, they get really nice and tall. So this is what your chia seeds will start to look like when they're much more mature. Oops, I just poured that out. Just clean that up. So it'll take a little bit of time, but not too much time, but your chia seeds will grow into these cute little green chia plants. And let's see here. We do have a couple tips. So if the mats seem a little bit dry, after 15 minutes, add a few more drops of water and be careful not to overfill the trays. And place your chia. So we'll have to build our tree house now, and then I can show you where we place the chia in the tree house. Okay. Time to build. Put all this over here. Here is our base piece that we painted earlier. So the front of it, we're going to have facing this way. So the front is facing that way and the back is facing that way. We're going to take this piece here, and this piece only has one tree trunk or one branch coming up. And what it shows in the instructions, we're going to place it into the base just like that. There you go. So the base, the slot of the base helps this piece stand up. The next piece we're going to do is the piece that has two branches coming out. And so this one, we're going to place through the first piece and into the slots of the base. So now you can see it looks like this. So what we've done is we've created this awesome tree that will now hold the base of our tree house. Now to stabilize these pieces, we give you glue. So wherever the wood meets itself, we're going to add a line of glue. So you kind of just want to put a line along the base on each side here. And then also going up wherever the wood meets itself. So again, in order to save a little time though, I'm not going to glue it right now, but I do encourage you to glue it. Okay, so what's going to hold the tree house up is this piece here. So this is basically like the floor of your tree house. And how you want to set that in is like this. We're going to just, this slot here and this slot here is going to fit right in here and right in here. So our tree truly will hold our tree house up. Just like this. Ta-da! So now we have this cool little platform for your tree house. Okay. So now we can attach our branches and the leaves that we just painted. Now, as you're sliding these in, just like that, and then up here too, let's see, just like that, you can kind of see they're creating these little nooks for your trays to sit. And the bottom of the trays are designed, they have this, see if I can show it. They have a indentation that will fit. See how it's got 4 little areas? Those 4 little areas fit right over the branches, so it stays in place, just like that. So you can put your chia in. You can put it in now, or you can wait until your chia grows and then put it in. And meanwhile, you can use these cool little plastic greenery leaves that we include in the set. And these are really easy to use. It has this flat part, and the flat part just slides right into the slits. So you want to just slide it right in like that, and it just stays. And you can do as many or as little as you want. Just like that. So we can keep putting those in, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next step. All right, so it says to gather the parts shown to make your tiny objects. So we definitely want to make our tree house. So the tree house roof will need to open up these little cardstock pieces. And here we have our tree house roof. So the treehouse roof has a little bit of a fold right in the or an indentation right in the middle, so you know where to fold it. And then from here, the parts that we'll need are labeled as roof. Roof and roof. Okay, it says fold the roof in half, then open and turn over. So as I mentioned, it is scored. So you can just fold it in half like that. And now open it back up. And we're going to use some glue to put the wooden roof pieces on. So just use the tip of your glue to kind of smear it around. Just like that. And then just put your roof pieces on. And you want to leave a little bit of space right in the middle so you can still fold your roof. There we go. Okay, cool. We'll set that aside to dry. Now we need our treehouse walls. So our treehouse walls, they look kind of like a house shape and then 2 walls. So matching up your pieces to what you see in the instructions. Here's the side with the windows and the other side of the wall. Okay, so this is super easy to do. All you do is you take your, let's see, I guess this is considered the back of the treehouse. And we're going to have the printing or the engraving side down. Now we're going to take the piece without the window and we're going to slide it just like this, just like that. And then we're going to take the piece with the window and slide it just like that. So now we have the window, the non-window, and the back all set. You will want to glue wherever the wood, wherever the wood meets. So I am going to quickly glue this and just putting even the slightest amount of glue, it will dry and hold your treehouse together. So we have that set like that. Now we do need to attach the roof. So anywhere the roof, like the top part of our little treehouse structure here, we're going to add glue, and then we're going to put the roof, kind of like balance the roof on top. So let's see if it would be helpful to see this as a front view. There we go. So I'm going to flip it around so you can see. Now we'll put glue here. And then glue up here, kind of outlining the top of our treehouse. Just like that. Glue here. And then we'll put our roof. Now my roof isn't all the way dry, but I think it'll be dry enough to put on. There, just like that. Cute, very cute. All right, so we're going to set this aside to dry. Now you get to choose what else you'd like to include in your tree house. So I'm going to bring our other tree house over here and just point out some of the things that I included. There we go. So what did I include? I included some fencing. Let's see. And I painted it black because I thought that looked really creepy. I included, where else do we have? Another little fence. Up here we have a table. Here's our table. And our pizza. And you can see a lot of these items come with little stickers to give them really cute detail. Here we have a cool telescope, so you can see how that goes together. And all of these instructions, or all of these little cute details, the instructions are inside here, so you can see how to put them all together. So maybe we choose, let's see. What should we do for our tree house? What do you guys think? Should we put together our table? Should we put together our tire swing, our bicycle, our fence? How about if you guys tell me what you would like to see put together? Out of all of these things, we have a fence, a pizza, a guitar. We have our tables and chairs, our telescope, our tire swing, or our bike. That's a lot to choose from. So if you heard something that you'd like to see us put together, let us know, and Georgiana will let me know. But in the meantime, I will go ahead and put together one of our little fences. Do we have any suggestions, Georgiana?
No suggestions yet, but my suggestion is the tire swing.
Ah, okay, cool. So just to give you all a heads up as to how to put together one of the fences, there are these little pieces that look like this. It's kind of like the letter C. And how it works is the fence just fits right inside of that letter C, just like that. And what we do, we just take some glue and we put it along the inside part of the C, just like this. And you don't even need all that much. I just put it on either side, just like that. And then you can put your little fence in there and you just let it dry. And like I mentioned, I painted mine first and then I glued it together. And why I do that is because sometimes when you use watercolor, you know, you get the wood wet in order to paint it, it might release the glue a little. So I like to paint my items first and then glue them together. All right, so let's take a look at the tire swing. Let's see, where are we here? Here it is right here. So we need to find the piece that's labeled tire swing. Here we go, tire swing. And it says attach the stickers to both sides of the wood. So here are our stickers. And there's so many cool stickers in here, but the black round circles are the tire swing stickers. All right, so we'll just stick those on. And they fit perfectly. That's on one side. And on the other side. There we go. Now tie the tire swing to the branch with the red or blue string. So we give you red and blue string in this kit. Let's see, where did I put my red and blue string? It's got to be around here. I think it's up here. Okay. So let's use some red string. And we have to tie it to one of the branches of our tree house. Here we go. So I'm just going to tie some string on here. Just like that. And we'll double knot it so it doesn't come undone. Like that. Now we'll bring our tree house back over. And this part's important because we want our tire swing to swing. So we need to know, and this is the branch over here that we're going to hang it off of. It's just perfect for our tire swing. So we want it to hang, so we need to know where to cut the string in order for it to hang. So I think this is a good height for our tire swing, and our little characters can reach it so they can swing on it. So we'll just tie it on. And if you have any difficulty doing that, you can ask an older brother or sister, your parent or grandparent to help you out. Just like that. Ta-da! Fun! That's so fun. Okay, so our little treehouse guy over here, our actual house, is getting pretty dry. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it up here. So now we have the setting for your treehouse, for our treehouse, I should say. And we can continue to add details like what I had mentioned earlier. You can put together your table, you can put together your guitar or your telescope, whatever you would like. And then we do have this really sweet little ladder in order for your character, to get up into the treehouse. So let's see, where did our little characters go? So maybe our little hamster wants to go up, 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 up. Hi, I'm hungry for pizza. Where's my pizza? And our pizza's already on our table. Yay, yum. All right, so since this is the spooky treehouse, I want to point out some of the spooky details that I introduced to our treehouse kit. So, like I mentioned, however you want to paint your treehouse to be more spooky is up to you. But some other ideas would be using maybe some little glow-in-the-dark stars. And you can put your glow-in-the-dark stars maybe inside your treehouse. So then when you flash a flashlight on them, it might glow. You can use fun paper like this orange crepe paper, which I used for our candles, and I'll get to that in a second. And I used some fun orange and white polka dot paper to create little Halloween garland. So as I mentioned, these areas right here hold your chia, but they are also the perfect size to hold a little candle. So these are battery operated tea lights that we include in one of our other kits. And so I just used a little bit of crepe paper and put it in front of the candle flame. So when the candle is on, it looks like there's an orange flame. So you could put little tea lights inside your trays when the chia is all done growing. So we'll put those on, and this one too. Now during Halloween, you can find spider web type stuff like this. So you can drape it around your treehouse to make it a little bit more spooky. And then for the base, I just used some green yarn to create a pumpkin vine, and then just some orange pom-poms to make it look like pumpkins were growing. Now, last but not least, I wanted to create a Halloween costume for our little characters. So our little froggy became a little froggy ghost just by the use of a napkin that I cut and tied around our little froggy and added a little fun face. So you can see he's under there. So this is his Halloween costume. He is a froggy ghost. So earlier, before our class started, I asked my friends, do you know what the most popular Halloween costume is that's been worn over and over throughout the years? So I'm wondering, do any of my friends out there know what the most popular Halloween costume has been over the years? If you know, go ahead and type it in. I'll give you a couple seconds to think about it. All right, I'll go ahead and share. It's not a ghost, it's a witch. So the witch, the classic witch, is the most worn Halloween costume. Now I just held up, this is an example of our Halloween rocks, and we have this Halloween rock painting kit that actually includes some glow-in-the-dark paint. So this would also be really fun to include in your spooky treehouse. So I hope you guys had fun. I love making our treehouse nice and spooky. So I can't wait to see if you go ahead and make your treehouse and decorate it for Halloween. Maybe you can take a picture of it and share it to our social media page, #CreativityForKids. So thank you everybody for joining me. This was our Build and Grow Treehouse. And I can't wait to see what you create. Thank you. Bye.